Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Seeing those clouds building in since the earlier briefing this morning. Seeing mostly cloudy conditions out there with our ceiling sitting around 2,700 feet. Otherwise, continuing with some slightly breezy northwesterly winds. Peak gust up around 20 knots at this time. And with that cloud and breeze picking up, going to help keep those temperatures from climbing too high as we move through the day today. But overall, expecting dry conditions. We'll have a chance to see a wind advisory today, but otherwise a quiet weather day. As we move through the day. If we take a look at the current surface analysis, still have that area of low pressure just off the New Jersey coast, and over the next 24 to 36 hours, it's going to slowly track away from the coast and out to sea and start to loosen its influence over the local region. But it is giving us some of those breezy conditions today, as well as some of that low cloud that is built back in the area as that moves. As we move into our day on Friday, we'll keep some low clouds around until that area of low pressure gets a little further off the coast. If we look at the upper level winds from this morning sounding, have those northwesterly to northwesterly winds pretty much through the entire column. Seeing our stronger winds through the lower and mid levels. Peak wind this morning at 34 knots at 6,000 feet. Seeing our freezing level at 11,600 feet. If we look at our current visible satellite, we can see that cloud field that has built into the region this morning as expected. Again, seeing those ceilings out there develop today. And we'll likely see those stick around through much of the day today. Could see a break in some of that cloud deck as we get later in the day, and then clouds likely building back in through the overnight time frame. So if we look at the high resolution model here, we'll see how things play out as we move through the day. Again, expecting mainly dry conditions. We'll see a very slight chance of a light sprinkle as we get into the afternoon time. Maybe a light shower, but not likely to happen. Overall, expecting things to remain dry and mostly cloudy, and we'll continue to see slightly breezy conditions. Again, we'll see a chance of maybe a wind advisory, mainly as we get into the first part of the afternoon when we're expecting the peak in the winds. Otherwise, going into this evening, again, chance of those clouds breaking up as we go into the first part of the evening and then building back in with a lower cloud deck for the early morning hours of Friday. And we'll stay mostly cloudy as we move through the day on Friday. The winds will lighten up and be more onshore out of the northeast through the day on Friday. That's going to keep that low-level moisture and some mostly cloudy conditions around for the end of the work week. Going into the overnight Friday into early Saturday morning, that's when we're going to start to see that those next rain chances start to approach the region. Not expecting those chances to start increasing until we get into the start of the day on Saturday, starting off with just a slight chance, and then we'll see increasing chances with a good chance of seeing scattered showers, mainly as we get later in the day on Saturday. So if we zoom out here, looking at the European model, looking at the start of the day on Saturday, we see that system bringing those rain chances into the area. Again, better chance as we get into the second portion of the day, and it looks like we'll see those scattered rain showers continuing overnight into the first part of Sunday, possibly lingering into the afternoon hours of Sunday, but most of that should wrap up as we go through the morning hours. And then we should see a dry trend as we move into the beginning of next week as high pressure tries to take control of the region, keeping things mainly dry, and we'll see finally a break in some of the cloud cover and some additional sun and slightly warmer temperatures. And then it looks like our next rain chance will come as we move into the later portion of the week, possibly late Wednesday into Thursday as a weak boundary approaches the area. Some models indicating a lot of this moisture dries out as the boundary pushes through. So we'll have to see how things come together as we get closer to that time frame. So looking at our 24-hour weather risk chart for today, again, that main risk as we move through the day today will be those winds at or above 25 knots, starting off with a yellow risk this morning and up to an orange risk as we get into the afternoon hours, expecting those winds out of the northwest 10 to 15 knots with our peak winds up to 24 knots for the afternoon. So we will see that chance of seeing a wind advisory this afternoon. Otherwise, seeing those mostly cloudy conditions continue, expecting that ceiling to continue right around 3,000 feet for much of the day today. Very slight chance of seeing that a light sprinkle through the area Otherwise, expecting temperatures to warm up into the low 70s. Could see a couple degrees cooler than that with the cloud cover building in and the breezy winds. But going into the evening time frame, we'll see a break in those clouds. And then going into the early morning of Friday, we'll see those clouds building back in, likely seeing a ceiling develop around 1,500 feet. But we'll see our temperatures cool down to around 58 degrees for our Friday morning, and those winds becoming light and more out of the north to north-northeast. And we'll see a slight chance of some patchy mist early in the morning, but nothing too impactful expected at this time. If we look at the extended forecast here, we'll see, again, mostly cloudy conditions on Friday, high around 67 degrees, a little bit cooler with that northeasterly wind. We keep cool conditions as we go into the weekend with our highs in the mid-60s, lows in the mid-50s. Those lows will stay in the mid-50s for the extended forecast here. We'll pick up that first chance of scattered showers early on Saturday, looking at about 30% chance, and then that bumps up to about 60% chance as we get into the afternoon. And that continues as we go overnight into early Sunday morning, then dropping back down to a 30% chance for the later hours, our second part of the day on Sunday. Again, there's scattered showers around mainly early on. Then we should see things start to dry out as we go into Monday. We'll see decreasing clouds through today on Monday, so mostly to partly cloudy. Highs up in the mid-60s, and then we're back into the 70s as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday with some additional sun. Just looking at partly cloudy conditions with nicer weather for the middle of the work week. That's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again tomorrow at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day.